Kitkatscanread.
Hello, it's Katie. Welcome to another video. How are you doing? Today I'm bringing you guys my currently reading pile update. I last did this video in January. It's been a few months since then, so let's do a little update to let you know what books are on my currently reading pile. I did have over 20. I have literally just sorted some more out. I was kind of like sorting them as I was filming, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start again and film this fresh for you guys. So I will speak through the ones I've knocked off of my currently reading pile. I will explain to you the reasons why, and then I will let you know the ones I've currently got on my currently reading pile at the end. So in no particular order these are going to be, and this was a little bit difficult to do, and it is really kind of like tough to kind of like look at these books and think that I had a lot of reading time with these books that I've had to like get rid of. But that's just my own fault. It's just a habit of mine that I need to like get myself out of. So the first book that I'm going to speak to you about is The World Between Us by Sarah Ann Jukes. I do still remember the first chapter of this book, but I think in order to please my mind and my brain and everything, I'm just going to start from the beginning, because one chapter I'm fine. Like, I'll read it at a time where I can pick it up and give it a read. The next book that I'm grabbing here is White Hot Kiss by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I started this, I think, in December last year. It is a reread. I had a massive urge to give it a read, but to be honest, I can't remember. I literally don't even know why I can't remember like what was massively going on. So considering I have read this before, I couldn't remember it even when I was starting to read it, and I did get about 130 pages in December, and I put it down, and it's been a few months since then, and I've kind of forgotten those 130 pages, which that's where the irritation gets in. But I'll reread it another time. I will start this another time when I can like prioritize everything and just focus on this book. But yeah, I loved it the first time round, and I would like to read this and read the sequel and the third book and so on and so forth. But yeah, I'll read it another time. Like, I'm not too mad about it. And the same with The Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I can't for the life of me remember where I got to in this book where I can solidly remember. I know that there are some parts of this book where I do kind of remember, but I can't for the life of me think of the chapter. So I think it's just easier if I just, when I can find a time to commit to such a chunky reread of a book, then I will dive into this. And you know what? Again, I'm not too mad about it. It is a bit frustrating, but what can you do? The next book is The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. I can sort of remember the beginning part of this, but I think it's just easy if I just go back into it fresh, and I think it's going to go a lot better if I can commit to this book. I was enjoying what I was reading so far of this book, so yeah, when again I can commit to the book fully, I will jump and dive into it. There's a movie of it now called Chaos Walking, so yeah, who knows, like when I go around to reading it. Next of all is You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry. I can't for the life of me remember what was going on in this book. I was struggling to get through it the first time. I don't know if I was kind of slumping, but I think it's just easier if I start again from the beginning and yeah, see how I get through it. This is also known as People We Meet on Vacation in the US, in case you're like, what is this? Yeah, I will give it another chance. It's heading towards summer, so yeah, maybe this will be something that I will pick up like for the summer in like July, who knows. And I have got here If We're Not Married by 30 by Annabelle. This I started reading when I last went to Spain, Benidorm, in 2020. In February, and I still sort of remember the first chapter of this one, but I think again this is just going to be a lot easier if I just start it again from the beginning and fully commit to it. So it's a chick lit book, so who knows, I tend to read these sorts of books like during the summer, so maybe like July, August time I will end up picking it up again and refreshing my memory on it. But yeah, we shall see. Then I've got here Tiny Pretty Things by Sana Charapotra and Daniel Clayton. I'm just knocking this off of my currently reading pile. I don't remember anything that happened like in all the chapters that I read, and I started this beginning of last year, so I think it's just easier if I just go into this another time but I can completely focus on it. I started reading this because of the Netflix TV show, which I still haven't watched. So yeah, hopefully pretty soon I can read this and then watch the TV show. Next of all, I've got here Six the Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I'm knocking this off because I was struggling to get myself into this book. I absolutely loved Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars the second time round. The first time round I gave it 4. And for me, the writing's kind of different in this one, so I wasn't really feeling the book at the time. I want to go into it at a time where I do want to dive into it. I do want to watch the TV show. I've been holding off the TV show until I read this. So yeah, at some point when I'm really in the mood for like this style of book again, yeah, I will dive into it, but at the moment I'm just not in the mood for that sort of genre, unfortunately. Next of all is The Kitkatscanread by Helen Hwang, another romance book, and I remember the first chapter of this, but yeah, again, it's just best if I go into this when I can fully commit myself to the book, and yeah, when I'm in the mood for a good romance. And then I've got here Uglies by Scott Westerfeld. I only read a few pages of this, so there's really no point in having this on my currently reading pile, and I don't remember the pages that I read of it, even though I started it like 2 months ago. So yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, this was from my first ever book haul on my channel, and it's on my top books to read this year, so at some point this year I will get it read. As to when, probably a bit later on in the year, when I'm in the mood for like a dystopian like this. I absolutely love dystopians though, so I'm sure once I get into it I will really enjoy it. But yeah, I think at the moment I'm just not ready for this one just yet. I've got here Cherry Crush by Kathy Cassidy. I started to read this because one of the sequels of this came out of like a TBR jar, and so I purchased the first book secondhand. I was really enjoying what I was reading this so far, but I can't for the life of me remember what was going on, and I started reading a couple of months ago, so I need to start this fresh again. And yeah, it's a fairly easy going read, so I think it literally won't take me long to read. Then I've got here Wicked by Jennifer Armentrout. This is a reread for me. I started reading this because I watched the movie that went to it, and yeah, it made me want to read the book, but I just want to fully focus on this. I only read like I think 8 pages of it at the time, so yeah, I want to fully commit to this book and really enjoy it all over again. I loved it the first time around, and yes, it's another Jennifer Armentrout book that I want to reread so that I can continue on with the series, because I have a problem with completing series. One Last Up by Casey McQuiston. This is actually an LGBTQ+ novel, and one I'm going to be possibly reading next month in June for Pride Month. I read 40 pages of this and I was really enjoying it, but I don't remember too much of it, so it's not really that fresh in my mind because I started it a couple of months ago. So I will start it all over again, hopefully, like I say, in June. Hopefully June is the month for it. Yeah, fingers crossed I enjoy it, and yeah, continue on with it. This next book is probably going to be sad for quite a lot of you, and I'm sorry, but this is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V. Schwab. I really enjoyed the first chapter when I first read it, but the chapters after that I got very lost in, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the writing style of it, but I was struggling, and I've been fairly slumpy in my reading fairly recently anyway, in the past couple of years, so it's difficult to tell if it's me or if it's the book. So it's hard to tell if it's like, it's not you, it's me, or it's me but not you. But I will of course give it a second chance and see. Hopefully I can get into it. I really wish that I can. I wish I can get into every book that I read. So I really hope that this is going to be one of the books that I do enjoy. But as of when I'm going to read it, I really don't know, because like the first time reading it kind of put me off. You know when you really slump over a book and you put it down, and that's kind of why it's not spurred me on to read it. But at a time when I'm really feeling like reading it again, where something's persuaded me to read it or whatever, I'll give it another go, and fingers crossed I enjoy it. And the final book that I've knocked off of my currently reading pile is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I do want to read this year because the sequel Carrie Soto is Back is coming out, but I just don't remember what happened like the beginning part of this book. I got quite far into it. I think I read like, I want to say over half of this, but I can't for the life of me remember. I was enjoying what I was reading though, So yeah, I need to go into it again and focus on it again, and fingers crossed I just enjoy it all over again, like from what I was reading. But I need to like just prioritize and focus on this book like big time and be ready for the sequel. So yeah, I will try my best to see if I can get this read like over the summer at some point, July, August possibly, and then I'll be ready for the sequel, Carrie Soto. So yeah, but yeah, Malibu Rising, I will get it read, I will. So those are the currently reading books I knocked off of my currently reading pile. I have narrowed it down to 6 books on my currently reading pile that I'm going to try my best to knock off like as and when I next can. Is probably the least I've had on my currently reading pile in a while, so fingers crossed I can do this. Also, I do have 2 books that are actually on my TBR for this month that are in the currently reading pile. This is why I'm not including it in those 6 books, because I'm hopefully intending to get them read this month. So the first of which is Love Boat Taipei by Abigail Hing Wen. This one I am like 20 pages in, but to be honest I'm thinking I'm going to be starting from the beginning. Yeah, this is because of the sequel being a review book. I think I actually did have this as an e-arc before I purchased the finished copy as well, so technically it's a review book as well. And then the other currently reading book is Blood Promise by Rochelle Mead, the 4th book in the Vampire Academy series. I started this last month, and yeah, I want to read it for the Vampire Academy read along, and yeah, I just haven't got around to continuing on with it, but I will do because I absolutely love like those books big time. So those are the current reading books that are on my TBR. As to the ones that are on my actual pile, here goes. So I've got here One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. This one I started last month. Will has already finished it. Yeah, we both watched the TV show and really enjoyed it, and I'm told the books are better. So I did kind of start it. I was listening to the audiobook of it. And yeah, I still remember everything that's happened in the book so far. So that's why I've got the bookmark in it, and I should intend to continue on with it at some point. Next of all, I've got here My Type on Paper by Chloe Sagar. I still remember everything that's happened in this book, and yeah, I think it'd be quick and easy to complete. Also, I've got Baby Love by Jacqueline Wilson. I'm very nearly finished with this book. I'm 3/4 through, so yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. Another Jacqueline Wilson book that I started last year is The Runaway Girls, and yeah, I still remember everything that happened in this one. As you can see, the little dent in that one. I've got The Ballad of Songbird and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, and I still pretty much remember what's been going on with this. And yeah, I intend to read this because of the movie I believe that's coming out for this one. And then finally, To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. I started this last year. I was buddy reading it along with my good friend Rosie, and we got, I want to say, like 130 pages into this. I still remember everything that's happened in this book. I really was enjoying it. It's such a big book though, and I think I've got like tabs in here for like every 50 pages. I think that's honestly, or every 30 pages maybe, because it's such a big book. So hopefully at some point this year I can commit to this book, maybe in the months where it's kind of like getting a bit colder, like I want to say like September time, September, October, when I'm just generally in the mood for a science fiction novel. So fingers crossed this will be completed this year. There you have it, guys. Those are the books I've knocked off from my currently reading pile that I did have on there. Those are books that I've updated with my currently reading pile. I'm going to do my best to clear the currently reading pile before the end of the year. I want to start fresh January with no current reads, apart from like if there was a book that I started in December that I'm just putting straight onto my January TBR. That is the only exception of a currently reading book. But I think I need to stop starting all books at once. Like, this is the trouble. When I'm slumping, I'm literally like, let's just start another book and maybe I'll like get into that. And then that's how I end up with a currently reading book. So I need to stick to the books I'm reading. That's just plain and simple of like what it is. I I really wanted to have May as the focus of review books, but now I'm sort of thinking I don't know whether I need to focus this month on currently reading books. So like obviously I'm currently reading Crave by Tracy Wolff and Catholic and Lychee, and I've got the other two currently reading books on my TBR of Blood Promise and Love Boat Taipei. So yeah, although I'm starting Love Boat Taipei from the beginning, so now I just don't know whether to just read those 3 currently reading books and then go on to books that are on my currently reading pile and get those knocked off, because it would be a shame to have forgotten what goes on in those books. So I might do that for my TBR now and just have a complete TBR change. I'm feeling positive about doing this, and maybe it will help me get out of this strange slump thing that I'm going in at the moment. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do this month now, that I'm going to just completely change up the TBR. TBRs don't always have to happen. Things happen which change our TBRs or give us reason to change our TBRs. I feel like this is going to make me happier by clearing my currently reading pile. So yeah, I'm going to do my best to finish the books I'm reading, and then I will go on to what I want to read. I think I need to start mood reading again. Oh, it's difficult. Life is difficult when it comes to things like this. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this chaotic video of current reads and journal books. But if you've read any of these books I've mentioned, let me know down below in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on them and the thoughts on like for me to clear this currently reading pile, because I want to get it done. And yeah, it just honestly, it just needs to get done. And yeah, I just need to get cracking on my reading. It's just ridiculous. It's frustrating me. It's probably another reason why I'm stressed. It's just the currently reading books. So anyway, I'm going to head off now and end this video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. All of my social media links will be linked down below in the description if you would like to follow me elsewhere. All of my book club details that I participate in, all of the lovely people that are in the book clubs, every social media link that's about me, including my Twitch channel, which I do game on when I'm not reading. But other than that, that's it from me, guys. So keep smiling, keep reading, and be happy. My name is Katie, and I see all of you wonderful, awesome people in my next video. Bye!